Hello, Aquarius. I keep saying Aquarius, but Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, The Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Angus West is hyphenated. Website for them is schifferbooks.com. Feel free to check that out if you'd like to. I keep wanting to say Aquarius instead of Aquarius. I don't know what my brain is tripping on right now, but there we go. Supportive Oracle Cards, Energy Oracle Cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. That's Ann with an E. Website is hayhouse.com. There's Hay House Radio at the back here, but if you take out the radio part, you should get right in there. I'm like really wanting to say Aquarius. Like I just keep wanting to say it. What's up with that? Aquarius. Anyway. Something is going to go much better here. I'm not happy in the beginning, but it's going to go much better. Something is going to go much better. Bringing in the power. Okay. One more card. Strategy. Strategy. Who's got the strategy? Who's got the strategy? There's something under, like, I just put it on. Look, one little bit of, okay. Get it together here. There's a lot of confusion. Okay, whatever's going on, there's a lot of confusion. I feel like the radio's on, the TV's on, there's people talking, and there's something going on outside, and I'm just like trying to figure out what I need to deal with first. And there's it's like, what am I? It's supposed to just whip around this place and fix everything at once? What's going on? Do I even need to fix anything? Does something need to be fixed? What's going on? There's so much. It's like, why do we have the radio, the TV, people talking, that going on outside? And what's that? I'm like, is that a bug? What's going on over there? It's kind of like every time I turn around, there's something else. I know that Aquarius is very smart, but you can usually put it in order really fast. But for some reason, it's all just like a blur. I'm not happy about it. I don't know what's really going on. For some reason, I don't really know what's going on, and I'm not a fan. I keep having to pull the energy down, too, I'm noticing. Like, we need to pull the energy down. Like, your mind is going a mile a minute. Even if I step away, I feel like it doesn't stop. How do we... Okay. What would make this... How can Aquarius get this on their side? I mean, if this energy is going to happen, what makes this go to their benefit? At least that much, if it's going to happen. Three of Pentacles and the Temperance card. Physically do something. Even if it's random, and you're... Like, the Temperance card is kind of like... When you walk through a house, and you're like, okay, there's like the house is in disarray. Maybe you pick up a little here, you pick up a little there. You're not really finishing things. And then you're like, oh, I got to write this. So you write this really quick. And then this outside, you go outside and do that. If you keep switching gears and just doing a little bit at a time, you don't have to drive yourself nuts doing one whole subject at a time. It's kind of like, okay, there's a lot of laundry that needs to be done. But you know what? Let me just start a little bit. Let me gather enough just to start a load, and then just let me go do some dishes. Okay, let me go back and do the laundry. Okay, let me do a little bit more laundry. Let me go outside and do something. Okay, let me go back and do a little bit more laundry. Okay, let me go get this written. That has to be written for a class tomorrow, or this has to be written for this tomorrow. If you keep switching gears on yourself, you might satisfy that energy a little bit. A little bit. But just literally step up and move. Just move. Just keep physically moving. You might be surprised that this kind of solidifies your energy. And you're going to feel like, you know, you're getting stuff done. You might have to write it down. Even if you text yourself, I do that once in a while. Like, did some laundry, did this. Like, every now and then you just text yourself the last 3 things you did. Just so you keep looking back and you can literally see, like, no, I've been active. I've been getting things done little bit by little bit, and things are improving. That might give you that emotional confidence to keep going and keep improving and feeling like you're doing better. You got to start feeling like you're doing better, and I feel like the situation might start showing you opportunities that you weren't seeing before. Maybe. It just seems like if that energy starts moving forward, you might be more into or open to possibilities for solution. that you definitely want now, but maybe aren't seeing right now. If that's how your energy is going, it's just like things just keep going off. Start moving, keep moving. The energy will solidify, is what I'm getting. This can go two ways, because it's like, if you have people around you who aren't helpful, ignore them for a little while. If you have people that are helpful that you're not connecting with, connect with them. Is that two ways? I feel like that's going two ways at once. This is adding to the madness. It's adding to the madness. If there's people around you who like are very chatty, but their chat is not helpful, just disconnect from them for a while. They literally might be talking right next to you. I do feel like Aquarius can ignore people without people realizing you're ignoring them. So ignore them. Do what you got to do. I feel like Aquarius is very complicated, very intellectually strong. You can ignore people without them realizing you're ignoring them. If you want to explain that in the comments, or if you're just going to be like, no, James, that's nuts, just let me know. But I feel like you can very much ignore people without people realizing you're ignoring them. On the other hand, also, if there's people in your life that you're just not connecting to but are supportive, just send them a random text or a random email. Just send them a message. Hey, just thought of ya. What's going on? Or, saw this the other day. Thought I'd, say hi. Whatever. Invite them over for cookies. This is coming from a cookie fiend. I have a problem. And I accept that problem happily. All right. Is there anything else I need to say with this? That can be a part of that randomness, by the way. Keep that up too. To an acceptable degree. There's the good and the bad here. The people that you want to ignore, again, I feel like you can ignore people without them realizing you're ignoring them. But again, Aquarius is very intellectually strong. So I feel like you can do this. They don't have to know that you're doing it, but I also feel like your brain will pick out, like, wait, trigger word, what are they talking about? Like, trigger word, that's important, let me listen. Okay, man, doesn't matter. And go back to ignoring. Or trigger word, wait, no, that is important. I need to do this with that. And I'll respond accordingly, or not at all, but I'll just bank it where I need to. Same thing with, and keep that up as much as you can. As much as you can. Same thing with, like, if you're reaching out to people, I don't care if you have to, like, put something on your phone to go off every 2 days, every 4 days, once a week. Remind yourself to reach out to people who matter. Even if it's a little benign thing, keep the people who matter, keep the people who value you in mind, and try to just throw out information, throw out communication. I don't know what's going on, because it's like, usually Aquarius doesn't have a hard time communicating. But there's something here about feeling overwhelmed and wanting to spend more time with people than I can actually do. So it feels like I'm not starting conversations because I don't have anywhere to go with it. But they're like, start a conversation anyway. You're Aquarius. You're entertaining. Your verbal prowess is very valued to the people who value you. Okay. Verbal prowess. Okay. That was fun. What's going on with your verbal prowess, Aquarius? Tell me everything. Will you? Ooh, we got hidden cards. What's going on? This is off to the side. Somebody else is very stressed around you. The Emperor with the Ten of Wands, somebody is very stressed around you. And the Nine of Wands reversed, letting go of something that isn't working. Letting their guard down. Somebody will let their guard down with you if you just give them a chance. I don't know what this is about. This is weird. The Emperor coming in with it. The Emperor is very honest. Sometimes brutally honest, but Aquarius can roll with that. Aquarius has got it. you might end up having more support than you expect. Put that energy out there a little bit more. Letting your guard down might I feel like you let your guard down, they let their guard down. Whoever this is, there's something here that's a better connection for you. Because I feel like I'm getting through this moon time. Things are crazy. Things are a little bit nuts. They're a little cuckoo. I'm not totally happy, but you're very strong. That's the thing. You got your card coming out, the Star card, with the Three of Swords. Kind of like, I'm a very strong person. Why isn't this working out better? I should be more at the cream of the crop here. I should be more at the top here. I should be flourishing more, but for some reason I'm not. One of the reasons you might be avoiding the Emperor too, the Emperor will tell you how they're seeing things. They'll have a conversation with you that could be a little bit spicy, not degrading, so be aware of that. If this person makes you feel like crap, then this isn't the one. This could be, but this is somebody who says stuff and you're like, I didn't really like hearing that. It wasn't mean the way they said it, but I didn't really like to hear that. I don't know how else to say that. It's not like they're not saying something mean, but they're bringing up a subject and they're putting it in a certain light and you're like, oh, I don't like hearing that. I don't know how to explain that. It's like, it's not mean. It's just kind of like, well, I don't like thinking about that. One of those things. This could be that person. I don't know what to say about that. Is that like, can we get more about this person? They'll bring those subjects forward. Three of Cups, it's a friendly energy in the Tower card. They'll bring something forward. It's kind of like, well, if you're not happy, like, what isn't making you happy? And let's look at that. And they'll help you dig down to something maybe you're avoiding. This kind of like it's almost like there's certain, like, almost like if you have a job and you're putting up with somebody at your job that you really don't like, and it's kind of like they'll dig down and help you dig down, like, who is this person and why don't you like them? And then they'll highlight, well, that's abuse. They may be your manager, but that's abuse. And you're like, well, I can't do anything about that. Why can't you? Does HR not support that? Or are you afraid that if you say something, the repercussions are going to get worse? Stuff like that. Like, is there somebody in your life that should be treating you better than it's not? It's kind of like what they'll help you dig down and kind of like help you look at something maybe you don't feel like you're empowered to handle, but they're like, no, you're Aquarius, you're pretty awesome. You don't want to handle it, but maybe with me and you together, maybe we can find a way for things to improve for you. I understand and respect that you don't really like the situation and you don't feel empowered, but you are pretty awesome. So maybe if I help you work through this, we can find an option or options. I don't know where that's going, but that feels a little bit kind of like maybe we need to break down some walls and help you. Aquarius is extremely strong and extremely smart, but you're just as fallible as everybody else. I give you that. If you don't want to deal with something, you can put it so far in the background that maybe you even forget that it's there because you get so used to dealing with it. I sometimes forget that even though Aquarius is extremely intelligent, it's mostly the intelligent people that can be the worst to get out of denial because you've built it up so strongly to believe that that's not happening. You've put so many walls around it. You can be the hardest one to move forward because you're so strong mentally that you've built this wall that just seems impenetrable. So maybe you need somebody to challenge you to help you break down that same wall. That's the thing. Smart people, when you've made your decision that it can't be fixed, you'll have so many reasons that it's hard to break down that wall. It's true. I mean, I feel like intellectually, when somebody who's very smart has bought into denial, it's the hardest for them to get out because of their intellectual prowess. Prowess. Because you've thought about so many angles and how it works and why this and why that. You've built quite the fortress. But whoever this is, I feel like they'll challenge you in a way that you can handle, in the sense of like you'll look at it for what it is and you'll see it and you'll start looking at it differently, kind of like, yeah, I do have options. Maybe options you don't like, but options you still have nonetheless. Whoever this is, they also seem very active, by the way. They seem very active and they're very gracious, kind of like they don't think of themselves as better at all. They just seem to look at it like there's options. You don't have to take these options, but let's at least acknowledge that there are options. And they're also very active and just kind of like, you don't like it, we'll just move on to something else. You don't have to think about it. They're not going to be like rude or try to like force you to think about something, but they'll bring something forward in the sense of like, oh, I didn't want to think about that. And I see like you have the chance for a much better outcome. Much better with the Two of Cups. It's just getting there, going through it. To get there, and don't get caught up in the gender with what I'm about to show you here, it is the Empress with the heart chakra, the green chakra. To me, green is a very healing color. Not to everybody, I give you that, but to me it is. It's a very healing color. When the Empress is in balance, they're not taking care of just everybody else. They're still when the Empress is in balance, they do have a lot of responsibilities. They do take care of a lot of things, but they demand and respect that they're a part of the same group that they take care of. And if they're not being taken care of, well, this isn't going to work. They also have the ability to facilitate. I want to say facilitate other people taking care of them as much as they take care of others. So it's kind of like, I'll do for you and you will do this for me. You have to facilitate that, because it's like sometimes I feel like the best people who care about the most people, they end up in this little quandary where they end up taking care of so many people and everybody to the point where they maybe they're getting some help, but they're not getting enough help. And they have to like refacilitate this and break this down, kind of like, I can't keep doing this. I either have to start cutting things out of what I'm doing, or I have to pull people forward and be like, listen, I want to keep doing this, but I can't unless you get them to step it up. And you get other people to step it up. And it's not even usually when you have people step it up, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just they're not used to it. They may whine and moan about it. But if things are going to flourish, you have to be as satisfied and stable as everybody else. You can't be just living for everybody else's happiness. And I'm kind of worried that maybe, is that happening in your life? Is that why you're not happy? Because everybody else seems to be happy and you're not, because you're doing too much for other people and they're not doing enough for you, and they need to do more for you, whether they like it or not. And that would put your heart in balance. You need to feel as loved as everybody else feels. You need to be as cared for as everybody else feels. And that will rebalance this whole thing. Other people have this weird, like, oh, it's a random moment. We can't let this be a random moment either. I was going to end it, but I'm like, one last thing. Stick to your guns. This is not just a moment in time. If you're going to have people step it up, you kind of want to block them in to where they can't get out of it easily. You don't want this to be a 1 or 2 time thing. So whatever it is they're going to do for you, you kind of want to set them up so that they're kind of locked into it and they have to keep doing it. So for example, you don't want to let somebody borrow your car if they need to go to work. You want to force them into a position where they either find their own car or they find another ride to work. And that they're going to keep doing that. I don't know how that helps or what, but whatever that means to you. You want to kind of like block them into where they have to keep helping you or keep helping the situation. I feel like I should let it go there. There's a lot more coming in, but I feel like we're starting to get into like things going all off in all these directions. One thing at a time. Sort it out one thing at a time. I could give you 5 million ways to do it. It's still going to matter mostly in what you need it to do. And you're very smart. You'll figure it out. I know that. It's just about you reevaluating it, making this go more for you. We did the stuff in the beginning where you have to keep moving and then getting people to take care of themselves more. I feel like that's where we're going. And that person, whoever in your life that would kind of challenge you to look at things a little differently, that also seems very valuable. So whatever works for you, make sure that works for you in a way that helps your life. I'm going to stop there because I feel like I'm going to start really rambling in a second. So thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.